think 13 years ago, his first job in Hollywood coming over here from France was the Green Hornet. It didn't work out and it fell apart eventually. And so he's always wanted to do it.
I had been working on this project 15 years ago. I sort of left my son in Paris to come here, and I was very disappointed it didn't work out. The project came to me the second time around. I felt I had a debt toward my son.
The whole time it was always like, kind of would be cool to meet with Michel Gondry.
I think a lot of people had the same misconception I had, which was that Michel was completely uninterested in making a commercial movie.
I was like, Michel, you really want to do a Green Hornet, a really big mainstream commercial movie? And he said, Neil, if I want to do the Green Hornet, then I want to do a really mainstream movie.
And then eventually we met with him and he brought in a fight tape and it was the coolest thing in the world. We went to the studio with this fight tape. He could go and be like, I'm Michel Gondry, and here's proof I can do what you don't think I can do.
The fights with Kato had to be truly spectacular and unlike anything anyone had ever seen. So what we went into the movie with was this idea that Gondry had to go into Kato's eyeball and kind of be able to analyze a fight before it happened and be able to move at a speed that was so fast that before one guy he punched it even landed, he was off punching the second and even third guys.
Yeah, me and Michel were talking about how it'd be cool to see what Kato has pinpointed as key elements in the moment that is about to occur, and then in the moment of action to follow, you will understand why each element was highlighted as he utilizes them in a fight. That makes sense?
Cut! I think that's a definition of the style of the film.
Yeah, that's so cool. Kato Vision, it's taken a lot of steps evolutionarily. I mean, the very first thing Gondry showed us was this very simple two guys fighting in front of a black background, and one guy would get punched and he'd kind of float there, and the other guy would move around him and punch him again while he was still floating there, and it was very simple but impressive.
Basically, the idea is in editing, I cut the time on one side and not on the other side of the two fighters. So one is beyond the timeline, and then you switch this delay to the other one. So one goes faster, the other goes slower, and then it switches to the other. So the time stretch and becomes the same when they actually have physical contact.
We've been asked to do some odd things before. This one's especially odd today.
He has this idea that as we go through flashbacks and Kato Vision and whatnot, you know, every time you see an image, a small element of that image is retained, and ultimately these leftover elements come together to form one grand tapestry, if you will.
Everything in this little insert dream sequence has something to do in our movie. The body, the tree that's going to be on fire, the syringes, and there's wigs up there. There's 10 wigs that they've asked us to blow up into the air.
Have you seen it with all the wigs going?
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's hideous.
It's hideous.
Very hideous.
I'm not sure why or what, but here we are doing it. It's going to be cool, I think.
Michel comes from a background of a childlike imagination. And essentially, it's if you've taken this child's imagination and given him the tools to execute anything they would want to do.
And this is the thing about like Michel Gondry that I don't think, like I think he has a lot of tricks up his sleeve as a director, and there are things that like when you're shooting it you really have no idea what he's going to do with it. But I know that sort of in the end I trust him enough to know that he'll put that stuff together in a really interesting way.
We have a scene in this movie that actually could be one of my favorite scenes, which we call the roundup scene, which is really Gondry-esque.
One guy tells another guy, and they keep going on and on and on. The way that it's going to look in the movie is it's going to be on one screen. There'll be two people talking, and as soon as they split and go their separate directions, it'll look like the camera follows each of those guys going each direction.
The first guy talked to two guys in a bar. Then we separate them all in a split screen. Then they both walk on different directions. And as they walk on different directions, the screen split, and you follow him on him.
Oh, wow.
It's a little bit of a mystery that's trapped inside Michel's head, and he's been explaining it little by little, and as the night's gone on, we've seen what each of the pieces is coming together, and I think finally people are starting to understand at least how we should shoot the shots for the night.
We actually see the word spread around the city, where you see the screen split and split and split.
And it's also nice to instantly see Michel doing some of the crazy Michel shit we hired and prayed he would pull off and do.
So yeah, the TV fell on the ground and created kind of a cool pattern, and Gondry wanted to use that pattern in the fight.
Oh, they should have a fight on that, like.
Warning,
Where's the storyboard on it?
Okay, we put the camera down. We have Brit landing there, and Kato comes here and punch him.
And at first I was resistant, but I have a new motto. I just say whatever you want, Gondry.
Frame set.
Oh, from over there?
And when you mix up.
Like that kind of?
Like that.
Okay. And it's been working really well.
No, I don't like it! I don't like it!
You know, he has some wacky ideas, but within 10 seemingly mad ideas, there'll be 7 absolutely brilliant ones. And in those 7, there'll be 2 or 3 that are absolutely the work of genius. And also in that 10, the other 3 will be something that's completely off the wall and impossible to achieve.
At the beginning of the movie, a nightclub explodes. Michel had an idea, and instead of it being a conventional explosive, it's kind of a fast, expanding foam that kind of encapsulates the entire nightclub.
So I walk around the corner in the office. It's like, so, you have the Lego and the foam. And like, literally when we hired him, we're like, there's not going to be any Lego in this movie now.
These are the club goers. It obviously didn't work as well as he hoped.
When we first met him and he told us his favorite movie was Ghostbusters, that's when I realized, like, oh, he's completely different than I thought he would be. He's like a funny guy. It's like he's like, seems like a comedy director more than anything, you know?
Michel is hilarious. I'm reading his comic book right now. I had a question about this. Is this a true story?
It's from a dream. This is Johnny Hallyday. You know Johnny Hallyday is a French Elvis. Actually, it's Belgium. So I always wanted to do a movie with him as a president.
Who?
But when you talk about the wolf, you see the tail. And then when he mimes it, like everybody's like, yeah! When we were kids, we were like that. Die! Die!
Michel Gondry speaks English, and you have no idea what he's talking about at any time.
Listen to me. Can you act for 1 second as though I am the director of this film?
I have no clue what he's on about, but I don't have to, you know. I mean, he tells me what to do, I'll do it, because I trust completely that he will, you know, by whatever means, he'll put something together that I will be completely baffled by.
Like, for me, when I go see an action movie, like, I just want to see something I've never seen before. And if, like, there's one dude who's come up with a lot of stuff I've never seen before, it's Gondry.
It's a guy in a truck driving on the freeway, and it's a guy is driving the truck. The guy has only one arm, and the guy was one arm. Said, "Okay, I have to be. Please stop. Oh, come on, we just stopped a few miles ago. I can't hold it." So they park the truck and they go to pee, and the guy with the arm go to pee, and so he goes to pee.
If you just turn around and show me your penis, I have no problem with that. I will then show you mine.
Peeing, and the other guy goes behind him and says, "Okay, give me some coin for a beer. Come on, I'm pissing. Okay, come on, I stopped the truck. Give me some money for my beer." The guy has one arm. Goes, "All right. How much do you need?"